Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Nakhon Ratchasima province. We're probably about 30 minutes or so to the west of Nakhon Ratchasima, or Kolat, the town itself. And what we're going to take a look at is an interesting site to me. What it is it's where the Thais have came back in and they've excavated an old prasat, and they're in the process of remodeling it and putting it back together. So anyway, we're going to take a look over here. This is about 1,000-year-old ruin. And it is Prasat Ban Bu Yai, I think is what they say. And it was built in the Bapyeon or the Angkor Wat style originally. And then this was abandoned and it fell into disrepair, and then it was looted and other things happened here. So anyway, let's walk through here. I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on and we'll enjoy the day. And to get here, you would have no idea. There's just a little gate right there, and then they have like sugar cane, and there's a school that's over here plus a modern temple. Over here's the modern temple, and then the school is over this way right here. And it's the Ban Bu Yai School. Now this is the site itself right here. And what they did is about a year ago in 2023, the Fine Arts Department came over here and they excavated this site. And it wasn't too bad. They only had to dig down about 1 meter to find all the remains and stuff like that. They found pottery, they found lintels, they found all the stone carvings, they found all the normal stuff that you would see. And they actually have kind of a nice little write-up over here talking about how it's going to look. So this is what it looked like originally. It was just a single stone castle with an entrance to the east. You could see it had this right here. They came down, they dug down, found all the bricks, and they found that there was like looting here, some traces of it. Stones were moved out of their original position, and they had dig holes and all of that. But it was just this right here in kind of a state of disrepair, just out here, leaves and stuff like that piled up. They found some of the little hermits. They found like a perfect Shiva linga, and I'm not sure where that Shiva linga is at. And then they found like this right here that was mostly uncarved, and they found the pillars that supported the door and stuff like that that were in really good shape. So let's look at a little bit of the rubble over here, and then that'll be all we see. So this is all the construction material. It's all the sandstone. They used the white sandstone, a little bit of the gray, and a little bit of the red. And this is the pieces that they have to work with. So you can see that they came over and they've numbered every little piece, and that's so they knew where they found it, and they mapped it all out, and then they know what they need to do in order to restore it. So you can see the condition of a lot of these are unusable, but they'll make some new pieces and put in where they can't use the original. But you can see they quarried these, then they carved them, they drilled them, and they fit it all together like a little puzzle. And that's what the Thais will have to do when they restore this ruin. But you can see right there, so they carved all of that. These would have been shaped like an L, and they would have had another piece inside of it. So the amount of quarrying that happened just for this was amazing. And this was a small little castle out here by itself, or a small little prasat. And then you can see that some of the carvings on the places that you would see, and then they drilled all of these, and then they carved over here, and it would have been really nice to see. Now they think this was a new community here before it was abandoned in the 16th Buddhist century, which was like about 1,000 years ago or so, 11th to maybe 13th century. You can see where they've used the little strap to lift these up with the crane. In the old days, the Khmer builders didn't have the modern equipment, so they had to do different ways to get all of these stones up on the top. They had some kind of hoist. I'm not sure exactly what they did. It would have been pretty cool to see how they did it though. Now this right here, this is just all rubble. There's nothing they can do with these right here. And then you see here, this is another large piece, and they carved all of that right there. Yeah, really nice. And this is some really nice stone carvings right here. So they've kind of put this a little bit back together, and then they have a plan for the complete restoration of it. But these carvings up here are in fantastic shape for being 1,000 years old. Oh, it's really nice. And you can see some more of the carvings. So a guy sat here with a hammer and chiseled that out. Really amazing to think about how much work. Now you can see right over there that they didn't quite finish this piece also. It looks like they started carving it and then they stopped. And then you can see some of the naga right here. So the sandstone that was covered up after they unearthed it has really kept its shape. The others that were exposed to the weather, like that right there, you can see the level of deterioration. The same over here. So those are the pieces, and they've put them back together. So a massive jigsaw puzzle, and they're in the process of getting it all back together. It mainly, I think, is about money. So whenever they get the money, they can finish this up. Okay, so you can see how it would have been constructed. There would have been other bricks and everything in here. And what's cool is this is the very, very top of what the prong would have been. And you can see all of these carvings right here, and then like the floral pattern. And you can see some were exposed, some were completely buried. Oh, that's really nice. And they'll have to reconstruct the one piece right here. That looks like it, but it's broken. So they'll have to put a new piece in there and fit it and carve it. And then some more of the top pieces here. Now, how in the world would you hoist that up to the very, very top? I don't know how they did it, but they figured it out. And this is the little entryway that would have been on the east side of that. And he would have had these stone columns in the windows. And you can see how they would have notched them on the bottom, and there would have been a top piece also. Yeah, there's some really nice pieces here that they have to work with. These right here are probably the best, right, that you can see. So these are the faux windows that would have been on like the north and the south side of that little building. And just check out the detail of this. So these are 1,000-year-old carvings, and you can just see they're absolutely perfect. They even have like right there on the center of the lotus flower where the little seeds were. That's really, really nice. And they have 3 of them. These are really, really nice. And they carved all of this right here. Oh, it's just great. And then over here is the lintel. So it looks like somebody's came back over and stuck something white on there. But the lintel is really cool. This is why they say this was probably a new construction. It was, the Prasat was completed itself, but they were still doing the final carvings. And that might be why some of them are in really, really good shape, is because they were so new whenever this was abandoned. But what you have here, this is mostly uncarved. So you have, I think, Vishnu right there. And then this would have been maybe a mask. And then you see the floral patterns, and you can see right here the chisel marks where they didn't finish the fine details on the sides and above. And over here, you can see just the chisel marks. So the guy that was building this here got interrupted, and they abandoned the site. And you can see these window pieces here were exposed. You can just see the difference of it. The weathering here compared to something like that. And so they found all of this just laying around out here. So they knew there was something here, and then the fine arts department came over and dug this hole and started excavating. They say that they're used like sand and small stones, and then they're a form of concrete, and they built the base of this ruin itself. We can see over here where they excavated. We got a couple dogs over here. So these are the bricks, and they left the trees standing, so the trees are still here. And this here looks like the center of the Prasat. So this would have been the little building that was off to the east. So you would have came into here, and then the prong would have been up here. You can see the locals have came and stuck a little Buddha right there. But this would have been dedicated to Shiva, and this would have been the center of the prong. And then they would have had all the outer part. The faux doors would have been over here on the north and the west and the south sides. And you can see they still have several of these big blocks that they could move. And I don't know if these will be usable or not. You can see they labeled them also. So there's still a little bit of work here to be done for sure. I'll check back on this here in a year or so to see if they have done any more work. Yeah, so you can see the pattern work of the base. And inside would have been filled up with that sand and the gravel and the cement to give it structural integrity. Yeah, really cool. Well, that'll finish up our video over here at this Prasat Ban Bu Yai. I like stuff like this. I really think it's cool that the Thais have the resources to come back in here and try to preserve some of these old ruins like this. I mean, there were thousands of them scattered out between Laos, Cambodia, southern Vietnam, and here in modern day Thailand. So there's just, you know, just so much history and so many of these places. So it's good that some of it can be preserved. I mean, some of it is just too far gone. You know, they've put rice paddies over the top of it or whatever. But something like this, they still can come back in and do something with it. So I'll come back here and check this out in a year or so, or if I hear about any more construction happening. I'd like to see how they do it. I'm really curious to see the amount of work that they put into keeping this little thing here intact so everybody can come over and enjoy it. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and then you're notified when I post more content like this. And leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. If you know more about this little site than I do, or if there's something else in this area that you want me to see, let me know also, and I'll go do my best to take a look at it. And until next time, from over here in Nakhon Ratchasima, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.